अस्सलाम वालेकुम टू ऑल माय व्यूअर्स। आप सबको मेरी तरफ से सलाम। ये देखिए मैं आपके लिए आज क्या लेकर आया हूँ। आई ब्रॉट दिस ब्यूटीफुल डेंड्रोबियम ऑर्किड, पर्पल डेंड्रोबियम ऑर्किड, and it's a big plant. Just look at the size. Okay, so I'm just going back, and I've not put it on any stool or chair because it was so tall that it was coming to this switch here, right? So I just placed it on the floor, and I'm also on the floor because of this, right? So if I just go back, I can actually show you how big it is. Look at the size. Let's come back to this flower here. Typical orchid purple flower or orchid color, I don't know what to call it. Sometimes you call it like dark orchid color. Orchids, they have their own unique color there, and the color is something which is the mixture of magenta and then purple with a tinge of blue, you know. So this is something which is like color which is quite common also, but it's such a nice beautiful flower, very deep purple. Look at this, right? Now there's one thing quite amazing about this orchid, and that is that I've had this plant for the last around, I think, I got it in like 2020, so this is 2022. So for the last 22 years I've had this plant, right? Not exactly the same plant, but what I did was that, like many times, I divided it, right? So probably this is one of those growths that were already there, and then it continued growing, and then we got this plant, this growth here, you know, the last one here. So like 3-4 years ago, I had a kind of mishap with all my orchids. I probably accidentally used a lot of fertilizer or too much dose of fertilizer, and because of that many of my plants, they simply got burnt. So sometimes, you know, the pseudobulbs got burnt there, and sometimes the roots were completely destroyed. So what happened was that my wife, she just gave me this suggestion. She said that why not you take all your orchids out of the medium, because of course it's a lot of work, but you take all of them out of this medium and then you place them in water, and then let's see what happens. So I did exactly the same thing, and very luckily and surprisingly, what happened, started giving off those new very nice healthy roots. And once the roots came, then it took only 2 years to actually come back to the, you know, previous glory, I would say. So the same thing happened to this orchid also. Then in this whole process, since there were many kikis also, and you already know that kikis usually come as a kind of survival response. So when your plant is dying or something wrong with the plant there, तो नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि जब प्लांट स्ट्रेस में होता है या प्लांट को ये पता चलता है कि मैं तो मरने वाला हूँ और मेरे तो दिन ख़त्म हो गए, सो लेट्स reproduce or let's produce small babies. So kikis normally come, normally I've seen this, they come when the plant is already in stress and the roots are not functioning. So the kikis come there, and when the kikis come, what you do, you just let them grow as long as you can. So if they are staying on the plant, they will keep on growing, and once the roots are long enough for you to, you know, separate them and plant them in a separate planter, then you do it. So I got like 9 kikis there, and there were like 2 divisions of the mother plant there. So I got 11. Out of 11, I actually gave 9 to the nursery man, who actually in exchange gave me some new varieties, and 2 I had. So this is the biggest one, the bigger one, I would say. And then I got this smaller one also, which is also budding at the moment, but the flowers have not opened yet. So see the typical Dendrobium phalaenopsis, sympodial again. As you can see the growth, let me show you closely here. See, these are the oldest pseudobulbs that have turned yellow, right? जो बहुत पुराने pseudobulbs है ना, ये देखें येलो हो चुके हैं. उसके बाद then we got this one. This is the one where we had this mishap that I was talking about, the extra dose of fertilizer that accidentally I gave. Okay, so that was the mother plant or the pseudobulb from the mother plant there, then the pseudobulb got much smaller there because the plant was in stress. Then it gave me another pseudobulb here and here, and it was recovering. As you can see the size of the pseudobulb. Then when this one came, this was a bit fatter and healthier. तो जब ये वाला आया ना तो मुझे थोड़ा इत्मीनान हुआ कि अब जो है ना माशाल्लाह ये थोड़ा सा बेहतर ग्रो कर रहा है. So I was happy to have this. Then came this one which is behind this one. ठीक है, आपको नज़र आ रहा होगा, देखिए यहाँ ये वाला, this one, and then came this one. ठीक है, उसके बाद आया ये the giant one. Look at the size, right? ये सिर्फ pseudobulb ही, I think this whole pseudobulb from this point till the end here is I think 1.5 or more than 1.5 feet. And this is plum also, fat plum, full of moisture, so which is a sign of health, right? Now I have grown it in this basket which is open here. There are advantages of this and then disadvantages of this also. The advantage is that you actually get a lot of aeration around your roots, and the disadvantage is that the new roots, they just come out of the pot sometimes and they're hanging here and there. So if you have like hung it at a place which is its own place and you don't change the place, and there are no plants, you know, like which can actually hit it or it can hit them, or you know, can get the roots damaged, then it is fine. But if you have other plants growing all around, then probably the roots would be you know, like damaged because of this too much hitting. And when it's windy, this thing normally happens. I don't have much place where I'm growing my orchids, so they all are like, you know, crammed at one place there. So when it is windy, sometimes they are like moving here and there also, and this much damage of root does not make much difference, because if your plant is healthy, they will always come back. तो ये जो है ना, समझें कि वही वाली बात जो मैंने आपको पहले एक और वीडियो में भी बताई थी कि ये कोकोनट क्वायर के अंदर जब हम लगाते हैं ना, तो द बेस्ट थिंग दैट कोकोनट क्वायर डज इज़ दैट इट रिटेन्स द मॉइस्चर. और ये वाला प्लांट ना, इसको थोड़ा मैं उठाकर आपको दिखाता हूँ. लेट मी शो इट टू यू. ये जो प्लांट है ना, ये वाला प्लांट, बिकॉज द पॉट इज़ मच स्मॉलर कंपैरेटिवली देन द प्लांट, so what happens is that the medium, it gets dried a lot. Very readily dries. So I have to water it like after every second, sometimes third, fourth day, depending on the weather. ठीक है, तो ये देख लें आप इसको दोबारा, इसका फूल कितना खूबसूरत है. I got only one spade here. कभी कभार इसमें 2-3 भी आ जाते हैं. Sometimes when you have multiple growth points there, then you can have multiple spades, and sometimes even from one terminal end of this pseudobulb you can have 2 or even 3 spades coming. इस वक्त ये एक ही है, बट एक भी बहुत अच्छा है. तो ये हो गया मेरा ओल्डेस्ट ऑर्किड. इसका नाम भी मुझे नहीं पता था, मैंने आपको शायद बताया था पहले भी कि यहाँ पे vendors, when they sell you the orchid, they never tell you the name, the varietal name. They just tell you Dendrobium, that's it. So only through YouTube and internet that sometimes we get to know the name there. So इसके like there are so many different varieties which are exactly the same color and probably the same shape there, but if you have this critical eye, you can always see the difference. So I cannot say for sure which variety is this. I just call it purple Dendrobium. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि क्योंकि दिस वॉज द फर्स्ट, नॉट एग्जैक्टली द फर्स्ट, बट दिस इज़ द ओल्डेस्ट डेंड्रोबियम दैट आई हैव, तो हमने ना इसका खुद ही एक नाम रख लिया. तो नॉर्मली आई कॉल इट लाइक कॉमन, माई कॉमन डेंड्रोबियम. मैं कॉमन इसलिए कहता हूँ कि बिकॉज इट हैज़ ग्रोन इन माई प्लेस फॉर वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम एंड आई मेड मैनी प्लांट्स आउट ऑफ इट, सो दैट इज़ वाई इट बिकेम लाइक कॉमन फॉर मी. ऑफ कोर्स इट्स नॉट कॉमन बट फॉर मी ओनली. तो ये आज की वीडियो हो गई इसके बारे में. आई होप कि आपको अच्छी लगी होगी. और मैं आप, क्योंकि अभी सिर्फ पौधों का लाइक अभी इन दिस वीडियो आई एम ओनली गिविंग यू द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द प्लांट्स देयर ना, लाइक आई जस्ट प्लेस द प्लांट हियर एंड आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द प्लांट at my place actually. तो इस वजह से ना ये बहुत ज़्यादा मैं इसको लाइक आई कैनॉट कॉल इट लाइक एजुकेशनल और समथिंग, because I'm not actually telling you or sharing you with you the tips or other things there, but hopefully I will do it. So when we have another video, I will tell you exactly what I have been doing with this for the last 22 years. I was young when I got this, not a teenager, past teenager again, and now you can actually see how I would be feeling about this orchid. Thank you very much for watching this or viewing this, and I hope you subscribe to my channel, because I've just started making the videos, and since I've been growing orchids for the last around 25-26 years, so I think like I am in a position to share things with you, especially to the orchid lovers and the ones who are living in India and Pakistan, because we speak Urdu and Hindi language here. There are many videos available in English, Spanish, French, and many other languages. Even in India, from India, we have videos coming from Kerala in Malayalam language, or probably some other languages in South India. But I have seen very rarely I've seen movies or videos coming from North India or made in Hindi or Urdu. So इंशाल्लाह ज़िंदगी रही तो हम इसको बनाते रहेंगे, और फिर आई विल ऑल्सो टेल यू हाउ टू लुक आफ्टर दिस प्लांट एंड हाउ टू ग्रो इट, बिकॉज मेरे पास माशाल्लाह इतना अच्छा ये ग्रो कर रहे हैं कि सिर्फ 1 साल मुझे वेट करना पड़ता है, एंड देन आई एक्चुअली गेट 2 or 3 प्लांट्स देयर. सो ये मेरा अपना डिसीजन होता है, बिकॉज आई डोंट हैव द प्लेस, सो आई कैन नॉट डिवाइड इट. अगर मेरे पास जगह हो तो लाइक मैं उसको हर साल और हर दूसरे साल आई कैन एक्चुअली मेक 3 or 4 प्लांट्स आउट ऑफ 1. तो इंशाल्लाह इसको फिर हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे, और आपका रिस्पांस देखते हुए फिर मैं इसको और वीडियोस भी बनाऊंगा, जिसमें मैं आपको टिप्स भी दूंगा और बहुत सारी ऐसी बातें बताऊंगा जो कि विच विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू. सो कीप वॉचिंग माई चैनल and please appreciate me by liking it or subscribing it. Thank you very much.